All right, welcome back to another episode of Northern Ruckus.
Yes,
it's
sir.
TJ here with my boy
Jimbo in the building, man.
Big Jimbo.
Let's get it.
In the cut.
Yes, sir.
Brother, it's been a minute.
I know, man. 2 weeks off or what? 1 week off?
1 week off.
It feels like 2 weeks.
It
It's
was a
been
long
2 weeks
week.
since we shot, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, it's been a minute, but I got a good would you rather for you today.
all right, let's get into
Not
it.
too much about bitches though. And I know that's what you did.
No, come on. I don't always got it. I'm not like one dimensional, man.
You're pretty one dimensional.
No,
Your life revolves around bitches.
No, stop it. Many layers, like Shrek. I'm like an onion. You feel me?
All right, so this week's would you rather is: would you rather be the most attractive man on earth or the smartest man on earth?
The smartest, because like being powerful and having a lot of money and all that's more important than how you.
Well,
look, right?
could you make more money being more attractive than in today's society than being more
even
smarter?
if you're like a supermodel or whatever, like you can still be dead broke. There's a lot of homeless guys out there that you ever see those people they go around and give the haircuts to the homeless guys? Yeah, they look blessed after that haircut.
But you don't think there's mad like geniuses that like are just working on a project for NASA, not making more money?
Yeah,
like, we're gonna be just stuck in the lab type
broke,
shit.
there's broke geniuses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But if you're the smartest person in the world, yeah, you should be. Able to
I
figure
definitely
out
would go
a way
with
to
most
get some
beautiful,
pay.
just because like, bro, being the smartest person in the world would get so tiring. So imagine trying to have a conversation with anybody, and you just feel like that person you're talking to is stupid. Doesn't matter how smart they are. It's just that you're that much smarter, right?
I already feel like that. So I
Oh
know
my
what it's
god,
like.
bro! And I feel like, especially in today's society, to be the most attractive person, you'd be able to monetize that way easier than anything that a smart person can do. Especially because you can go find that smartest person in the world and just be the face of their operations
It
type
depends.
shit.
Well, like, do you think that people get certain jobs because they look good? Like, do you think that Brad Pitt gets his roles because he looks like Brad Pitt?
Yes. What the fuck? Do you not?
Nah, he's a good actor, man.
What? You don't think attractiveness is like the number one priority? For guys, not as much, but definitely for girls. But for guys, it's still like
For girls to a certain extent, but it's not like it's just the prettiest girls. Like, it's like the prettiest girls who are good actors.
no. But if I'm saying the most attractive in the world, we're gonna be talking objectively, not subjectively, right? So like, if you are that guy, like, you know what I mean?
How much is that worth? Like, that's what I'm saying. How much is that worth to be attractive?
I don't know. I feel like that would be like, I don't know. My thing is, I don't think like an Elon Musk or like a Jeff Bezos or like any of these multi billionaires are the smartest people in the world. I think they have people in their own companies that are smarter than them.
Fair enough.
And that's just like a matter of like, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like the smartest
Does
person.
that not make them smart for being like, you know?
No,
what I'm
it's
saying?
also
Like, that's what-
opportunities
The
and
same
shit,
thing you're
right?
saying with beauty being objective is smart's not like
Intelligence, like because there's different subjects and stuff.
Because
to be
like when you
smart
say
on?
smart, it's not even like you said the most intelligent. You said like the smartest. It's like when you're the smartest, you're able to like make the smartest moves and shit. Like I feel like Elon Musk is one of the smartest people in the world. It doesn't matter if he has people that work for him who are more intelligent. There's a reason why he's the boss because he's smarter than them. Like, you know?
Nah, I would say the reason why he's the boss is because he had more money, more capital to put up to buy all these smart
But he
brains
has
to
more
put into
capital
operation
'cause
for
he's
him.
smarter than them.
If that's what you think, then maybe.
Like he
but
made
it's like,
PayPal, no?
Yeah.
And he sold it for a good price. and
But
shit,
like that's what I'm trying to say.
He bought into PayPal.
No, he made PayPal. Him and his friend.
See, he's not even smart
so
enough.
He never even bought
he's
it.
not even
Yeah.
so. Hold on. He's not intelligent enough to invent PayPal, but he's smart enough to buy it for low and sell it for high. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I don't
come
know.
on now.
I don't think. Okay, so what if I switch the question to who to have the highest IQ or the most visually pleasing person?
I guess Then if it was literally directly like that,
Yeah, because that's
then
kind of how I saw the question, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because of course, business mind is I'm not going to deny that it's not a sense of intelligence
Right.
of a sort.
Yeah.
But it's like when I'm saying smart, I'm thinking about like these astrophysicists.
No,
those-
when I hear smart, it's like you always make the right decision. Like, you know, that's when I think about smart. But intelligent people, they fuck up all the time.
But I swear
So-
you're the same guy that always talks to me, especially about like opportunities are mostly luck, right?
Yeah, they are, and that's what I'm saying. So a smart person, every time that they're lucky enough to come by something, they always go the right way with it, like, you know. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're smart doesn't mean you're gonna end up being Elon Musk. But hopefully you would, and you would try to figure out a way, right?
Okay. No, I feel that. So
That one's very. That's it's very hazy.
There's no right question. There's no right answer. It's just
both
opinions,
of those
right?
is not even that solid. It's not
I
like
get-
you're saying like, would you rather have $1 billion or be like the most attractive person in the world? Because then the billion is easy. I'll take that. Like, you know?
But I feel like being the most attractive person in the world, I don't think it would be hard to make $1 billion.
Yeah, fair enough. But we're not even looking at the aspect of what do you look like if you choose the alternative. Am I automatically ugly? Like, am I hideous? Like, do I have a growth on my face? Like, what is the?
No, you're
condition?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is like he's not in the slightest attractive, and he's like just
He's
the
not-
most whatever looking dude ever.
He's not your type.
He looks like a fucking. He looks like a weirdo. He looks like if he wasn't rich, he'd be a nerd.
Did you ever see that edit of him where they did like the good looking version of him?
Oh yeah, I saw that with like a chiseled jawline and shit and a beard.
Yeah, super funny. The version of him that gets bitches.
Yeah, not bro.
His girl's cool.
He has like 9 baby mamas. No.
I don't know about all that.
No, he has mad kids, like crazy amount of kids. Yeah. And he's because he wants to repopulate the world.
Good for him.
All right, well, let's get into our first topic. I want to talk to you about the Toronto mayor race because like that shit's heating up, and we see some candidates that obviously we like, but
put me on. I'm not really too into the politics. I know Chris Sky is running because I seen a couple clips on him on Instagram, and I seen a sign the other day when I was driving. I seen a sign of him.
Yeah, so essentially, this is actually like the most unprecedented like mayoral race in a very long time for Toronto because there's like 104 candidates running. 104? Yeah, like it's crazy. There's a crazy amount of candidates running. And then, so in the top, like, according to polls, which I don't get how accurate polls are, the top 5 is like Olivia Chow, Mark Sanders, that Gung Chow guy, or I forget what that guy's name is. And then Chris Sky was like I think he was like number 7 on people's polls, but Chris Sky exposed it on his Instagram and shit how Bet365 is doing like betting on who's going to be the next mayor, and he's the 4th favorite as of last Thursday. But then I was checking it today, and this guy was the number 2 favorite to go be the mayor of Toronto. So it's like the polls are not matching the betting information, and betting companies always bet on.
Yeah, that shit is obviously rigged. Like you just said, how do they come up with it? Because they're not polling me.
Yeah,
they never asked me what my opinion was, but I don't know if they have a registered email list that they'd be sending shit out. I know I wouldn't be on it because I don't really vote. But this is the type of shit, if I were to vote, I would probably go vote for this guy.
For Chris Sky?
Yeah, just because it's like, bro, like breaking that whole mold of like usual politics. Like,
I 100% agree. Like I have absolutely no idea what he's running on. Yeah. Like not a single thing, but I do know he's like anti-establishment, which I like. And that the girl that's running in first place, Olivia Chow, I think she's gonna destroy Toronto. Yeah. Like the crazy thing to me is they had these debates already. Like I don't know if anybody watched it, but they had like the debates where like the top 5 candidates are on it, and every single candidate was running on the fact of Toronto's housing crisis. And I'm like, how can everybody be arguing about the same shit and there's no solution? Yeah. Like her solution is making more public housing, so making more like projects and hoods. I'm like, that's the absolute worst possible thing we can do. Like she wants rent-controlled housing, which essentially means the city owns the buildings, but the rent will always stay at a relatively low price, which is a hood.
Whatever, man. Yeah. Regardless, I'm just prepared for them during the whole racist shit. They're gonna start saying this nigga Chris Sky is racist.
Well, they already arrested him.
Oh, they arrested him? So
they arrested him. Like he's not charged. I don't think he's charged, but he got arrested like last weekend for uttering threats of bodily harm. Yeah.
Man, whatever it is, man. I'm not gonna say I'm rocking with him like that, but I would like to see him win.
Honestly, because like all politicians are fucked up people, and it's like I would rather put somebody in there that isn't a politician. I don't care what they run on.
I know he's very passionate about like he wants shit to be for everyone the way he would want it to be for himself. Yeah. Like, you know, like that's why he was so big on like the COVID shit. He's like, guys, what are you guys talking about? You're not going to like this shit. I don't want to live this way.
Exactly. So it's like he thinks outside of like traditional norms. And that's what a lot of people, especially like our ages, like our demographic was thinks. So it's like my thing is last race, I think the most votes, who was it that won? John Tory or whatever? He had only like 300,000 votes. And I'm like, it's not that out of the blue to think that Chris Sky can pull that many votes, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of like Donald Trump or some shit where it's just like, he doesn't fit into the regular mold, so he's gonna catch a lot of traction. Yeah,
but it's like it is kind of like Donald Trump, but it's not in the sense that it's only for Toronto, right? It's not like I would even argue Doug Ford was Trump before Trump. He was a very like populist kind of guy. Yeah, where he wants his whole goal is to raise the middle class and like stifle the upper class, and like that's kind of what Doug Ford did, and that's exactly what Trump did, and then they wanted Doug Ford out real quick.
I'm not too much into the politics. I know people. Mm-hmm. You know, I know people.
Well, talk about politics. I know I told you to watch the RFK pod with Joe Rogan this week, but you didn't, brother. It was the most like craziest shit ever. Like actually, like the most enlightening podcast that's ever been dropped, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, like it's nuts. So he goes on a bunch of different things. So one thing that I wanted him to go in more about that he didn't go fully in, but you know that he probably has before, was talking about his uncle JFK getting assassinated. So he was saying like when JFK was a president, they were coming to him saying like you have to start these wars in like the Middle East, you have to do all these things, and he was saying no, to the point where he was fighting with the FBI and CIA and all these three-letter like agencies so much that he wanted to disband them, and then that's why he, like RFK says, that's why he believes his uncle got assassinated.
Yeah, I say this all the time, bro. I'm like, yo, the CIA runs America. Like, if you think that the president of the United States is in charge of things, you're just delusional.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even like, so he breaks it down. He's like, in 63, JFK dies. 65, Malcolm X dies. 68, RFK, who's RFK Senior, he dies, who's like running on the same thing. And he was also working with, at that time, MLK, Martin Luther King, to raise the middle class, which includes the black community. And they both get deaded off in 68. So in like that 5-year span of the 60s, CIA just killed everybody, bro. Everybody who was fighting against like the norm, right?
Yeah, and I saw they disbanded like the Black Panthers right around then too.
Yeah, all that shit. So it's like he was talking about this on the pod.
They were all, like on a homeland war. Like they went to war with their own country.
Yeah, like, you not see that documentary that came out that the producer for Brilliant Idiots, Charlemagne's boy, did, where like they were dropping bombs on Philadelphia, like physical bombs on the city of Philadelphia. Yeah, like it's crazy, and that was like around the same time.
I showed you that one.
Yeah, but there was a whole new documentary that came out about it, and it was like it was like Little Africa or some shit like that, and it was like yeah, the government's so fucked. Oh no, that was in 85. Yeah, so I guess that was later, but yeah, like the government's been doing this shit, like
at war with the people type shit. That's what I talk about all the time when people say like, oh, conspiracies this, but it's just like if you look, and especially like over time, it comes out, and it's just like look at the history of it. They've been at war with the people for a long time, you know. Yeah,
and it's like especially when I've been looking into it more, Martin Luther King and MLK and Malcolm X's messages, they were never like what we're fighting for today with like all this equity and all this shit, these buzzwords.
Oh, you mean equality?
Equality, equity, all this stuff. No, that's what they asked for. What the fuck? What do you mean? So equality is everybody gets equal opportunity. Equity means everybody gets equal outcome. And that's what they want. They want they think that, like, for example, if a working
looks like money and shit.
Yeah, so equity means like if a working black man can only make $50,000 a year, they want everybody to make $50,000 a year because they're all working the same amount of hours. It's kind of like the gender wage gap. It's the same kind of concept. Where it's like if you're working 40 hours, everybody should be making around the same in those 40 hours.
Picture there puts it into good perspective.
Yeah, so it's like equity versus So then, yeah. So well, fuck, I forget what I was saying. But yeah, so so like on the RFK pod, he was talking about all this shit back in the 60s, but then he brings it to today's time. So right now, RFK, I don't know if you know this, is running for president in the Democratic Party. So he's running against Joe Biden to see who's going to come out and be the runner for the Democrats. And he has like a 20% polling rate, which is not that good, but he's second out of all Democrats, only behind Joe Biden, who's at like a 40% polling rate.
Just because Joe Biden is the president.
And he's sitting in president, yeah. So it's like he has a chance. And then, bro, this is the craziest. So he goes in about vaccines and stuff, right? Not just COVID vaccines, but like vaccines in general. And a lot of people are getting really mad because he's been talking about this for like the last 18 years, but nobody really paying him any attention. But now that he's running for president with the footing.
I did see what he was saying. I saw a clip calling out Fauci and shit like that.
Yeah, so he has a whole book on the real Anthony Fauci that sold millions of copies, #1 seller on Amazon, but no other publication is going to like sell him. So he's not on like the New York's bestsellers list, on like Washington's bestsellers list, because they just don't want him to be talked about. So then once Joe Rogan gave him the platform, this guy, Peter Hotez, I think that's his name, he was like, Spotify is irresponsible for doing this. They have to take this podcast down. This should not be out in public. And then Joe Rogan tweeted back at the guy, and he was like, I'll give you or anybody you want $100,000 to come on my podcast to debate RFK live with no time restrictions or anything. You guys just have a conversation, and $100,000 to any charity of your choosing. And then mad celebrities went on that post and said, I'll also put up $100K. Andrew Tate's like, I'll put up $500K. And now the pot's over $2 million, and still nobody's taking it. So nobody wants to talk to this guy about the shit he was saying, but they're just all claiming it's misinformation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole vaccine thing, like, even when it just comes to, like, before this whole pandemic thing, right? People were starting to talk about it a lot when it comes to the kids and shit, right? Like, when it comes to, like, over vaccinating them and how it could lead to autism and all this stuff, and there's no testing really on it. They just start putting this stuff in. It's just capitalism. I talk about this all the time. Like, capitalism, that shit is fucked, bro, because it just leads to more and more people trying to get money out of things, and you just end up with a lot of shit you don't need, really.
Like, I get that, but so for example, I had this conversation with a friend of mine who she's like a medical student.
But see, before you get into it too much, not to interrupt you, sorry, but all these people, when you talk about certain references like scientists and med students and stuff like that, they're indoctrinated.
No, of course.
Super indoctrinated.
So I was like, we were just having a conversation in our group chat, and like she's really smart. She's like a book smart girl, and I asked her, like, I forget what we were talking about, but I asked her what's something that like you have a hard like stand line on, and she was saying vaccination. I was like, oh, I don't really know anything about it, but I did hear that like vaccines give people autism. And then she kind of got mad at that I even said that. I didn't even know much about it. I just said the statement because I've heard it before, and I wanted to ask her opinion. And she kind of got mad at the whole scenario that I even brought it up. And she was like, she was like, there were studies on that. Those studies have been debunked, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool. I never thought anything else of it because like it wasn't a hill I was willing to die on. I barely knew anything about it. She clearly knew a lot, like more than me. So I was like, okay, cool. But then now RFK comes. This is probably like 5 years after I've ever had that conversation. And he talks about how everybody keeps saying these vaccines are safe and effective for kids. But he says there's so many health conditions right now that America and the Western society has that's nowhere else in the world that doesn't get vaccinated that are minor things. But people don't realize that like they're coming from the vaccine. So they're not saying they're major. So it's things like peanut allergies, things like
I'm about to say peanut allergies,
eczema, things like a bunch of like random, like he doesn't even go into like depression and stuff like that, but he says like all these like medical conditions that people have on a daily basis that like they all stem from vaccines. And he does bring up like autism and stuff. He's like, you'll never see like a 60-year-old autistic person because that shit didn't exist. You'll never ask, like if you ask your parents, like if their parents are over the like 50, if they ever went to school with kids that had like gluten allergies or like peanut allergies or any of these allergies, those didn't exist because they all came from when they established all these vaccines and stuff.
And even just to like keep it a little less like scientific, like let's just keep it like, bro, like I understand that it's not gonna affect everyone the same way, right? But it's like a potato and an egg. You put it into the water and you boil them, and one becomes hard and one becomes soft. You know, like that. When they start putting all these chemicals into your body, even if you're the 1 in 1 million person who is gonna have a crazy effect on, like that's just messed up. That it's mandatory for you to get this vaccine to go to school, and it's gonna like make you like weird or
bro. It's crazy than that. Like I'm telling you, you need to watch his podcast because he wasn't saying it was 1 in a million. He was saying it was like 1 in 30. Like you saying it's like a lot more frequent than you would think. And he was like, oh man, I wish you watched it. It was crazy because he was saying things like
well, I like to fuck with doctors and shit that agree with me on the sentiment of like the less vaccines the better. Like, you know? Like measles and shit, okay. But
no, so he said 70% of all measles in the world today are from vaccinated measles cases. So people like the outbreaks from vaccine, like bad vaccination doses type shit. And then he also says, like, for example, hepatitis C. He brings up the history of hepatitis C, which is crazy because I remember. So when I was in middle school,
so he believes in no vaccine.
No vaccine, bro. It's crazy. Like it's mind blowing, and it's like he knows how to back it. He doesn't agree with any, and he backs all of it. And it's like nobody's willing to debate him. Instead, they just shut him down. So it's like all this information. Like I'm not even saying it's true. I'm just regurgitating what he said, and I think it's fucking fascinating. But like the way he says it is so convincing. Plus, nobody wants to debate him, which makes it seem more credible. Like, you know what I mean?
Try to shun him when it comes to the actual political race. He'll never become president, especially with his family.
He's like, very close to doing it now. And like, let's say even if he has that 20% and he says, okay, well, I lost the primary for the Democrats, I'm going to run as an independent, then that 20% will probably still follow him. And then that just like reduces numbers for the Republicans. It's kind of like what they thought was going to happen to Kanye, to screw Trump. But it's like, this is way bigger than Kanye because it's not like he's not like a hack. He's a very prominent figure who has a history in American politics, right?
Like Kanye can't even secure the black vote.
Yeah, exactly.
So he doesn't really have much of a...
Yeah, but so he was going on about this hepatitis C thing, and it's like, he was saying how this hepatitis C vaccine was created for, like, because the hepatitis C apparently, like I'm just saying what he said. It's a disease for like the gays and people who have like promiscuous sex with gay people. So it's kind of like AIDS, but not as bad. From what I was understanding. But he was like, a regular person, a regular heterosexual couple will never get hepatitis C unless they had sex with a gay guy or someone who's had sex with like a gay guy, essentially. Mm-hmm. And he was saying the fact that we're vaccinating our kids to that is only because they were trying to sell that vaccine to like that community, and that community didn't care enough to buy it. But they already had all the products, so then they lobbied essentially the government to just put this on like the schedule cards.
It's just crazy,
and it's that's something nobody will ever get.
I remember niggas back in the day making jokes like, "Oh, you don't want your girl to kiss no gay nigga, bringing hepatitis home," and shit. And it's just like, "Oh shit!" I remember that
my brothers used to tell me that stuff, and then I remember I asked my grade 7 teacher, who is Miss Gessner, who was a lesbian at the time, but like. Nobody knew that, but like we found out after the fact. Yeah. And I remember I asked her, why are we getting hepatitis C shots if we're not having gay sex? Because it's only for the gays. And she got so pissed at me. I remember I got kicked out of class and everything. But it turns out like that's actually true. Because it's like it's crazy. It's like you would never give somebody an AIDS vaccine if they're not gonna have sex with someone with AIDS and shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, bro, the shit. Like I'm telling you, this podcast is
like
crazy.
I said, I already like the less vaccines the better. I agree with that. I think we used to get a couple when we were kids.
We get a lot.
I think when I was a kid, because I'm a little older than you, don't forget. I think it was
you're 2 years older than me.
Yeah, but I think we got like 5 or 6 of them.
Way more than that.
Nah, maybe. I used to skip out on a lot of them.
We get like 50 vaccines in our lifetime.
No, I never got no 50 vaccines.
Think about when you're 6 months, when you have 6 months, 12 months, 18 month checkups, all those you get vaccinated in.
Nowadays.
And then you get like a 4 years, and then you get an 8 years and a 12 year.
Yeah, but back when we were kids, it wasn't like that.
Bro, in America, they do 72. I think in Canada, we have like 50 in our schedule.
Yeah, but back before it wasn't like that, is what I'm trying to say.
But you're saying that, but it's not true, because like when you were a kid, you were getting vaccinated, you just didn't even know. Think about your kids and stuff. Whenever you brought them into the hospital, they were getting vaccinated.
What was like, if you're born in 1992, how many vaccinations have you gotten?
Google that. I promise you, it's going to be over 50, or over. I'll say over 30, because I'm confident over 30. No, don't look at the history of vaccines. Search how many vaccines do you get. All right. Well, this guy's searching for it because he's going to find forever for this guy. 19 like search like the 90s.
Yeah, like from there on. I mean, that's kind of a lot of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but there's more than. But you're not taking just one shot for all these too. So it's like, I'm
not gonna lie, bro. I don't think I got too many of them. But regardless, it's not about playing the have I been vaccinated or not game. I'm just saying the less the better, and I agree with him on that.
No, I agree, because like before any of this, I could care less. Especially before COVID, I can care less about vaccines. I had this assumption of vaccines are good for us. It's gonna help the population.
When my pops was in school, a girl in his school got polio. He said that shit traumatized his whole class. Yeah, that like.
Well,
he's back in Guyana when this happened.
But how old is your pops? Like
pretty old.
So that was even before vaccines, probably. Because the polio vaccine probably never came until like the 80s, 90s.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like it did do some good, because people used to get that shit.
You guys all have these vaccines?
Yeah, bro. You get all, like I'm telling you, when you're a kid,
that ones right there.
When you're a baby, you have to get all this stuff at like 6 months.
I'm saying I have those ones right there, bro, but that's like a list of 8 right there.
No, that's like 12. And then on top of that too, the one on top of that is what was there. But no,
it's pretty much the same shit,
bro. But there's, like I'm telling you, there's more. Like you don't just get one shot for them. Same like with COVID, how you have to get 2 shots. A lot of these vaccines, you have to take 2, 3
fair
shots.
Enough.
Right?
Like I said, yeah. It's
so like on our schedule, there's like 50 schedule.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So he talks about that, and then he's like, how half of them are. Bro, I'm in America. It's 74. No, but then you have to take multiple shots of them.
How many are you getting of each?
Terrence, okay, like, bro,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Your math is a little off, but like I said,
bro,
I don't want.
Looking at one list
it's okay, bro. You don't die on that 50 hill. Just leave it alone.
God. I'm just saying,
you get too much vaccinations in your lifetime. Just leave it at that. You get too much vaccinations.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just find it crazy, and it's like we're all so immune to it, and it's like everybody hates big pharma. But that's who is the one doing
everybody
this.
hates big pharma, but also too, bro. Everybody just hates like when shit's going good kind of thing. People feel like I don't want to rock the boat. Like shit's not so bad, like you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big part of it too, right? Human instinct kind of like if things are going good and I'm good, like you know. But that's the thing, they just keep putting more and more. Our kids are getting more than we got. And I think but like I said, bro, that's how our parents were able to influence into a lot of this shit, because they saw a lot of things like measles and shit like that, and like polio. My dad said when he saw the polio shit, that shit traumatized him. Like,
no, but like,
you know what that does to you?
No, what?
Like parts of your body stop growing. So like if you're a kid and you get it, yeah, like all your body will be regular. Yeah, all your body will be regular size, but you'll have one small like leg type shit, and that's super sad, bro. That's super sad.
Yeah, I don't know. I never heard of that, but I knew it was like a disease that the Europeans had because they were nutty. Bro, did you know that Egyptians went up to Europe and said you guys are dirty and taught them what plumbing was? Because they used to just shit in like a.
But it was more. I thought it was more the Moors. The Moors went through Spain and
the
spread
Moors
culture of bathhouses and showering.
Where would you claim the Moors like?
I thought they came from Ethiopia.
Well, Ethiopia and Egypt aren't they right beside each other?
They're pretty close. Yeah.
So like I was just talking about like empires in general because they never had borders, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like
this is the type of shit that when we've argued, I've thrown this type of shit in your face sometimes before when you claim that white people are.
No, I knew the Europeans were nutty, and like I was saying, bro, the Egyptians and shit would always go across the Mediterranean and be like, yo, what are you guys doing? Mm-hmm. And it's like and then there's like it's also like, bro, when they would talk about like the Egyptians never had boats and stuff that can cross oceans and shit, I'm like, you guys are crazy. Yeah. They were traveling through like the Mediterranean like it was nothing before even Europe was. Like,
and even when they act like the Spaniards were the first ones here, no, the Vikings came here first.
Bro, there's Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Like, in Ohio.
Yeah,
like
they try to cover that up for some reason, but bro, that's becoming more and more prevalent.
Like, what's the fucking big heads, like the Aztecs? No.
The Olmecs.
Yeah, the Olmec heads. Like those are clearly like African American, like black people. They have some big fat noses. Yeah. And it's like they're trying to say, oh no, they're just talking about the people that live there. It's like the people that live there don't fucking look like that.
Yeah. So no, they do. That's what Graham Hancock keeps trying to talk about. And these other Native, like, not to be too controversial, because a lot of Native people don't even like to talk about this too, right? But even this whole ancestry DNA stuff that I don't like, when the natives take it, a lot of these so-called natives, when they take it, it shows that they're from Mongolia, that they're from Asia, that they came across the Bering Strait, right?
Yeah.
And that when they look at like a lot of darker skinned people, they have this like the same genetic heritage as people who are still in the Amazon and shit.
Yo,
like that.
You think people came across the Bering Strait?
Yeah,
I don't at all believe that theory.
You can see that a lot of the natives that are here that say that they're native, they look like Mongolian people.
No,
like that,
I'm not denying that.
Even like, bro, even there's times now where if you're at the edge of Alaska and you look across to Russia, it's not far. You can see it by your eye.
No, of course you can see it.
So all I'm saying is even if it wasn't by foot, even if they just made rafts and boats,
but that's what I would think. I would think like if to go from like Japan to Alaska would be a lot easier than going all the way from like the tip of like I don't think people understand how high, like how high in altitude the Bering Strait is. So it's like if you were to go, like I think that like the reason why I think it's all bullshit because like if you were to go on foot, let's say it would be like a 2-year journey, right? So that means you're hitting the worst winters possible. How the hell are humans supposed to survive that in like whatever they're hiking in? Like it's not like they're bringing houses and shit,
bro. People back then were built different. You know, just yesterday or 2 days ago, my bro was over and I got a new fishing rod. So I went to the canal by my crib to try fishing.
Yeah.
And it's like a little bit of bush between my crib and the canal, but not much. Like you can see the boats. It's like right there. It's like maybe like 200 yards away.
Yeah.
And I'm just going through the bush. Bro, by the time I got back to my crib, I had like 7 ticks on me and shit. I was all bitten up. I was all itchy and shit. I was like, nah, bro. Back in the day, my ancestors were just built different. I could accept that. Because these days, I'm in the crib with AC and shit like that. I'm not around like the bush and the bushes and stuff like that. So like, if you're from a cold climate back then, bro, you know what these people were like? Like they even say that their eyes evolved to have the slits in it because the snow reflecting back at them and shit. And that's why they have the skinnier eyes.
Bro, I get all that, but I'm saying like, yo, Matt, like I understand they're built different, but today there aren't tribes or people that are living in the most northern parts of Russia, the most northern parts of Canada, optionally. Like, you know what I mean?
So it's like there's Inuit people.
But like they have houses and stuff now, but it's like they weren't like I guess you can find like small tribes. But I'm saying find enough people to migrate through that through the winters where they don't have established setups. They don't know where the food's gonna come from tomorrow.
Shit,
they don't know,
man.
like they don't know how they're gonna get dry
human
wood.
instinct is to survive, and especially if they're running away from certain things. Like, have you heard of some of the animals that used to exist back there, like the short-faced bear? And shit?
Yeah, that was all in that area.
Bro, if there was,
Saber-tooth
yeah, that's what I'm
tigers,
saying. If there was a bunch of them
mammoths
shits on one side, I would for sure go to the other
Bro,
side.
they're on both sides. If the Bering Strait exists, that means that's how animals got across. That's how you find like mammoth teeth in like Alaska.
They were probably hunting
mammoth.
along the way and shit too, bro. I'm just saying that like whatever it was that they were running from, they might have been running away from like some early Genghis Khan that we don't know.
No,
about,
I'm saying like
you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying like boats had to exist back then. You can't get to Japan without boats.
Yeah.
So it's like it's so far fetched for me, in my opinion, to say that people walked across the coldest part of the world rather than just took a boat across the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, like I said, one or the other, bro. That doesn't matter. That's semantics.
Yo,
they got across.
They should have had Joe Biden back then, because this guy Joe Biden says he wants to build a bridge from Pacific Ocean to the Indian Ocean, fam.
Yeah, he's crazy. Honestly, I don't even.
You know how
I don't even
far
look
that
into
shit
what
is?
he's saying because he's delusional.
Pacific, bro. That's from like let's go from like Los Angeles all the way to India. Like, bro, is this guy retarded?
Yeah.
Like he really said that. It's like, oh my
He
god,
for
this
sure
old
has
man.
like Alzheimer's or dementia or some combination of the two.
Or he's just like, poor people can be just as smart as white people. Yeah, Joe Biden's the GOAT, bro, low key. Yeah. But then also I wanted to ask you, like, did you see the Andrew Tate podcast? Talking about prominent figures.
Andrew Tate. Nah, I didn't see it.
So PBD.
What was he saying about prominent figures? What
No.
did you mean by that?
No, I was saying Andrew Tate's a prominent figure.
Oh, okay.
So he did like this BBC interview where they tried to like get him on some gotcha questions, right?
Yeah, I saw
but
that.
then he recorded the whole podcast or the whole interview himself and released it, and it kind of backfired badly on the BBC because it's like they were literally like cutting him up like out of context from one question to the next and shit.
Yeah.
So he dropped it. So then now he had a friendly interview, his first like quote unquote friendly interview with
Because that was
Patrick
really
David.
whack how they try to attack him like that.
Yeah.
Bro, and it's
The
weird
Matrix,
because,
man.
like, bro, yeah, when you talk to some people, and they're like, oh, I don't like Andrew. They'll say, like, I don't like Andrew Tate. They'd be like me, I'll clutch my pearls. I'm like, oh, well, like the woke me is like, why don't you like Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Like, because it just throws me off. It's like, bro, if you think for yourself, you have absolutely no reason to not like him.
No, exactly. So this Patrick Bet David went all the way over to Romania to interview him, and it's a friend of his, so it wasn't a hostile environment. And the shit he was talking about was exactly that. Like he was talking so positive about like people are misconstruing my message kind of thing. He was like saying how he isn't saying every guy can drive a Bugatti, fuck any bitch he wants, do all of this shit. He's saying only the best guys can do it, and I'd rather you make yourself the best guy so you're able to do that than you being a bum that sits at home on the computer all day and not able to do that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
especially because him and Kevin Samuels both said it all the time, like, bro, if you're one of those guys that doesn't have nothing going on, don't expect no bad bitch.
Yeah.
Just settle for whatever the fuck you get.
Kevin Samuels is built different, bro.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
He would get on
They got
those
rid of him
FaceTime
quick.
calls.
They shot him with that. The CIA shot him with that gun that makes it look like you have a heart attack.
Andrew Tate's not going
100%.
hard enough, because if he was going hard enough, he would get that Kevin Samuels
You should throw
shot.
that clip up on the edit when it got the gun that it just gives you a heart attack. That's what they hit Kevin
The heart
Samuels.
attack gun?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Bro, because like,
he was making too much sense.
no, I would even say like he was so funny, bro. The way he would just roast like the fat black girls and
Bro,
shit.
I used to go back. I used to watch like some of his old shit before he was famous, and like he used to just say like crazy shit too, bro. Like talk about how like the government just wants us to be bitches, bro. I don't know why. I can't even get to the bottom of it, but the more I look around, the more I see it.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, he's just really raw. Like,
Everybody wants this anti-establishment shit because, like, yo, we all are starting to wake up to the fact that the establishment is fucked.
yeah,
right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah. So again, Andrew Tate's talking about that shit and saying how like he was in prison with no communication to the outside world, no like internet access, no nothing, and he was like essentially put in solitary confinement while he was in there and shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was mind blowing to him how different times are, because he would have like a fleeting thought. I think he was like. His example was like, I was just thinking like randomly, like, when did Constantinople's fall? And he's like, I couldn't think of the year, and there's no way I could figure it out, because it's like I'm just gonna be sitting here thinking about it for the rest of the day, and there's no internet to go confirm my thoughts, or nobody to talk to be like, oh no, it was this year or that year. So it's like random thoughts he would have that he said that would linger through in his head all day, and he has no sense of time because there's no windows, the lights are always on, and it's like, yeah, that shit sounded crazy over something that he wasn't charged with, but then he just got charged now this week.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy how they're trying to destroy him, man.
Yeah.
Like these days, bro. If you're real, oh man, it's hard to survive.
That's like my thing, because I agree with you, but then it's like, how can there's so many people that have like the same opinions about establishment, and so many people who don't care, but then the people who really care, how can they just be against everybody? That's what I don't really understand.
What do you mean? Are you saying like how could the powers that be?
No, not the powers that be. The people that are like that are trying to, the people, not the establishments, the people that are trying to cancel like Andrew Tate.
Oh, okay.
Like, how can they be against everything? Right? It's like, because we have the stance of like the government sucks. We don't like government. They have the stance of we don't like corporations. Most of them, right? Like they'll be like they don't like billionaires, the millionaires class.
It's NPCs, bro. I don't even like. They're just like their opinions are formed for them. Like I don't think like see what you're trying to say is like is as if you're trying to think about how is their opinion formed, but it's like they got like a opinion like input into like their hard drive.
Yeah,
like, you know, literally that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird. It's like a sheet goes over their face and like they start giving you these generic answers and shit. And you're like, what the fuck?
Well, I think generic answers come from both sides, but I do understand the concept of NPC. Like, have you heard of the term default liberal?
Sort of. Yeah.
So it's kind of like
I never really heard that term.
I would consider.
I guess I kind of understand what it
Yeah,
means.
I would consider like, for example, like I would say you're pretty close to a default liberal in the sense that you're not politically driven in any way, shape, or form, but you're gonna default to whatever the liberals agree with, right? So your
man, I don't
default
know.
thoughts,
bro. You fucking
comes
conservative
to-
people always try to be you libtards. It's like, bro, I don't care about politics. How does that make me a default liberal? I don't care about politics. Like
No, but that's
when
what I'm
we sit here and talk about shit, most of the conservative shit you say, I agree with.
No, but-
I more think that way.
But that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like you don't actually. When I say default liberal, I'm not saying you are a liberal. I'm saying your opinions are of the liberal sense until they're challenged, and you'll be like, that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
It's like
my opinion. That's why, bro. When it comes to politics, I don't know what the word was the other day when you said I think that people like politics shouldn't be involved in your life. That's how I feel. Because it's just like sometimes when you say certain shit to me and you want me to hate a certain group of people or whatever, I'm just like, bro, let everybody do whatever the fuck
but
they
I'm
want.
like I never once said hate. Like, that's that.
Or you want me
like,
to be on
but even
you want me to be on a certain
so,
side of the political spectrum.
No, see, so
but I
that's
just don't care.
See that right there is like what I mean by default liberal, right?
How
so
is
if
that being a default
I'm explaining.
liberal?
I'm explaining. So if I'm saying like it's not cool. Like if I personally
Can we go to the next topic.
No,
you're
I
annoying
can't.
me
I'm
with
gonna
this one.
answer,
You're
like,
annoying
see?
me with this one because you're trying to sit here and tell me I'm something and you don't know me like that.
But you don't even know what I'm
You
talking
don't
about. You
know me
literally
like
just said
that.
you don't know what a default liberal is,
Don't
and I'm
call me
explaining to you what it is.
Default liberal. That
so
sounds
okay,
like
fine.
some
Not Jimmy, but a
gay
guy
shit,
that I
bro.
have a podcast with. I would say something like, "I don't think being trans is okay," and then a default liberal would say, "Wow, you hate all trans," and that's not at all the same thing. Like that's what I'm trying to say. That's not at all the same thing.
Gosh,
So it's
bro.
like you have like.
Can we switch the topic, please?
All
This is just
right.
annoying. Can we talk about something else?
We're gonna go to.
I just feel attacked for no reason. Like, I'm not whatever the fuck you just tried to say I was. Bro.
A
That's
default
not
liberal
cool,
is
bro.
okay. I'm not
That's
saying you
cool
are.
what you're
I'm not
doing,
saying
bro. It's
you
not
are.
fun for
I'm
me
saying a
either. Let's
default
go to the
liberal
next
is somebody
topic,
who
bro.
doesn't care about politics or is not involved in politics, but the majority of their political views, even though they're not involved in politics, are essentially absorbed by the Liberal Party.
Okay, fair enough.
right.
Let's move on.
All right, so we're gonna go to "Am I the Asshole?" Give Mishu a second chance. Maybe he doesn't fuck this one up, but let's see if let's keep it nice and lighthearted.
All right, so this "Am I the Asshole?" is submitted by Thunderbear998.
I don't know if we gotta say the person who would submit it by still.
So it's "Am I the asshole for telling my extended family how many men, roughly, my sister had slept with after she outed our youngest brother as a virgin?"
Wait. Am I the asshole for outing how many girls my youngest sister slept with?
After an argument with her youngest brother,
Where she exposed him for being a virgin?
essentially.
And this is the oldest brother saying this, or what?
This
Or
is the older sister.
The oldest sister?
Yeah.
Is she an asshole for that? Nah. She I think that's kind of justified. Oh, that's the whole thing? Or
No, but I got more. So we had a family dinner this evening. My family has 4 kids in total. Me, my elder sister, younger sister, and youngest brother. Extended family attended our family dinner, so all of our significant others, our cousins, aunts, and uncles, etc. During our dinner, my elder sister and youngest brother got into a mild disagreement. My sister seemed, at least to me, to be coming across as very aggressive out of frustration and losing said argument. The two of them were too absorbed in their argument to realize the rest of us were getting a bit fed up. Eventually, my sister got really fed up and said, "Shut up, I'm not going to argue with a 22-year-old virgin." My brother hadn't done any personal attacks up until that point. It was completely unprovoked. I think it might have been the alcohol, and my sister is a mean drunk. Anyways, I immediately told my sister to grow up and that she's making an embarrassment of herself. She replied by saying everyone knows he's a virgin and she didn't say anything wrong. This annoyed me, as my bro definitely had confidence issues and doesn't need to be made fun of like this. So I responded by saying how she slept with well over 100 men while she was in college, and that since everyone in the family knows this, it's not a big deal, right?
She's for the streets.
Turns out her husband didn't know this was true. I generally assumed that he must have known. He left the party angrily saying my sister misled him about her past. Family is blaming me for the marital problems. I refuse to accept anything that I did wrong.
Okay, so I never knew that there was a husband at play. That's funny. The husband's there?
Bro, this girl's for the street.
Yeah.
Over 100 mans, bro?
And she didn't even argue with it. That's crazy. She just took it on the chin like...
To be honest, so my verdict for this case, I would say the sister is an asshole for exposing that.
But the other sister's an asshole too.
No, she's definitely an asshole for just trying to like diss her brother and shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, especially with the husband there and shit, like that's just another level. But regardless, it's like, yo, if your sister's a whore and you know she's a whore and she knows she's a whore, you don't have to say the number. You can just say, bro, not everybody has to sleep around because you sleep around. You could say something like that and it'd be done.
People in a glass house should not throw stones.
It's true though. It's true. But it's like, bro, like, yo, he had sex with nobody. She had sex with hundreds of people. You don't have to say hundreds. You can say, yo, you're a whore. Let him be who he wants to be.
But she never had to say that he's a virgin. She would just say, you get no pussy. Stop talking. like she didn't have to say
so
like
you think,
you're a
so
virgin.
What's your verdict?
I think sometimes you need to be an asshole. So yeah, we'll agree she's an asshole.
But it was
whatever.
a justified
Yeah,
assification.
justified. Yeah, being an asshole. Sometimes you gotta be the asshole.
At a family dinner though?
That's bro, because it's the youngest bro getting picked on and shit like that. I feel that right now one of my young boys, I'm not even gonna say his name, but he's having some trouble. You know, he's a virgin and shit. He just had his prom and shit, and I'm trying to give him advice and shit. You know, and I'm just telling him like, bro, like just be yourself. Like you're a cool kid. That's why I'm friends with you and shit. Like you know. Mm-hmm. But some people, bro, their like emotions and like their anxiety get the best of them, especially because I lost my virginity pretty late. I was like older than 17, right? But like
Does older than 17 mean 18? The fuck?
no, like it's not like I had just turned 17. Like I've been 17.
Oh, you're like 17 and a half.
I was 17. I was very much 17. But yeah, like, and I just remember kind of being a little nervous just because like so many of my friends had already been talking about doing that and shit. So I was like, oh man, I'm kind of late to the party, like, you know. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of people like the later and later it gets, the more and more anxiety they start to get and shit, right? I told my boy, I'm like, bro, just go watch 40-Year-Old Virgin. That shit's hilarious. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty much what you're going through.
Yeah, the top comment here says one person making personal attacks doesn't mean someone else should, especially since you weren't even in the argument to begin with.
Yeah, see, so like what Misha just said is the top comment was just because someone takes one personal attack doesn't mean you should too, because you weren't even in the argument to begin with.
A lot of times I'll take a personal attack to myself on the chin because I could take it. But when I see like my little brother or someone who I know is not gonna dish back the same type of shit, someone trying to bully them, mm-hmm. I'm gonna step in and I'm gonna say some out of pocket shit.
No, of course, but I'm saying like I think like the sister's not wrong if she calls her sister the one that's calling out the brother a whore. Like I think if you just say you're a whore, you're a slut, you're whatever, like that's the same like insult as you're a virgin. Like you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like to expose the number, which is drastically higher.
There's no way the number was accurate, bro. No, over 100 is crazy.
Okay, but even if she said
accurate.
Even if she said over 100 being exaggerative, the husband or the other boy, like the other guy in the scene, is gonna be like, "Yo, your sister definitely knows you better than I know you, so you definitely told your sister about all the sexual encounters you had."
Even if she said you slept with so many people in college, like the husband.
But if she said 20, it'd be like, okay, the guy would understand. He's not getting out from dinner for 20 bodies.
I would.
20 bodies at dinner.
I would spit out my turkey.
But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think an insult's an insult, right? So it's like once you throw that stone again, like what you said, don't expect shit not to get thrown back your way, even though it probably should have been the brother that said it, but he probably was crying and shit saying, "Oh, I'm a virgin." But it's
So
like,
how about hold on? Am I the asshole if I'm the dude who walks out on my wife getting exposed for being a whore?
hell no, what the fuck? Why is she lying? Why the fuck is yo? It's like no. See, like that's the thing. Like that's been cheesing me. It's like, yo, how can girls?
Why,
be...
hold on, why has this been cheesing you?
No, just no, not been cheesing. But it's like, girls. It's so funny that girls can lie about saying like body counts don't matter and shit, and get mad at guys that think that body counts matter. But then if you ask for their body count, they're gonna lie. It's like that's so counterproductive. That means you know that it's wrong, but you do it anyways because it makes you feel good. And it's like. Especially if you have over 100 bodies, you're probably telling your husband you have like 25. It's like you know you fucked up, and you're getting mad that someone else exposed that you fucked up. That makes no sense. No, that's on you. That's your problem you have to deal with. That's not the sister's problem. It's like the sister. There's a time and place. That my whole argument is there's a time and place. I think she's wrong only because of where and when she said it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
But that was a good. Am I the asshole? So see, so we're batting 50%. Batting 50%.
That last one was crazy.
If you never saw the last one, you got to go watch last episode with it. Shit. All right, so let's get into more like relevant topics of the week. You saw Zion Williams?
Yeah, his girl's lost her mind,
buddy.
Bro. Lost her marbles,
bro. But it's like
I think she just yesterday her Twitter account got
banned. Yeah, because they're NBA's
bro.
afraid.
He called up Elon Musk. He said, "I need his number. I got to call him directly."
So essentially, Zion got a stripper pregnant, and his girlfriend at the time, or a girl he was seeing, was a porn star, and she's very upset that because the stripper and Zion made a YouTube video saying gender reveal party, all this stuff, and
fit there.
So then he's talking about like the gender. They posted a YouTube video about the gender reveal party, and now the porn star girl got super pissed. He's like, "I'm gonna expose Zion." Like she was showing like texts and stuff with him, and then she said, "NBA, if Pelicans don't drop Zion Williams, I'm gonna release a sex tape of his." So then now her account got banned and shit. So it's like.
I feel for everybody involved. This what always comes back to what I say, man. We all try to abide by this Eurocentric principle that it should be one man and one woman. Why can't Zion Williamson have more than two bitches? That's why she's mad. She's like, Zion, it doesn't work this way. Now you're going to having a baby with her. I thought me and you were for real. And he's definitely texting, "Hey, baby, you know we're supposed to be for real." Bro, you see his text messages that she exposed with him? He clearly loves her, first of all. That's
simping.
the crazy part.
He's like, "How much am I paying you for this?"
Bro, he's all over the place with shit. But he's so young with money. Like, bro, a lot, like, yeah, everybody handles himself different, right? Like, bro, like, girls would look at it, like, let's say Zion has all his money and he was super stingy, never gave no girl $1. These same type of girls who he clearly likes to fuck with, would look at him like, you're a bozo. They wouldn't like him. They wouldn't, these same girls, that would be a good thing if these girls weren't messing with him in the first place. Yeah. But I'm just saying, the type of girls he likes, he's treating them how they like to be treated.
Yeah, and they're just dumb bitches.
So how could you really blame him?
But like, nah, for real, this girl's a dumb bitch, because why would you ever go on Twitter doing this shit? Why not just make an OnlyFans? Tease the fact that you're going to drop this sex tape. Get everybody to subscribe. Be like, let's say in 10 days, we're going to put a countdown. In 10 days, we're going to drop in the Zion Williams sex tape unless he apologizes, does blah, blah, blah. Like, put a list of demands that you want from Zion. He doesn't meet them, then you release a sex tape. But then everybody will be subbing to. You know,
that's some new age pimping.
Everybody will be subbing to this OnlyFans. Charging like $25 a person.
That'd be genius.
Get like 100,000 people in there. You just made like $2 million. And then you just fucking delete the account if you don't post it.
Quick maps. No, she should have done that. Even now, she still should do that. Like, yeah. I mean,
well, yeah, because now there is mad publicity around it too. So it's like she has no reason not to. And it's like,
I've been noticing that the quick drops on OnlyFans, like you know, it's like on one Bad Barbie or whatever.
Yeah.
When she first dropped and she made all that money, she should have just took it down. Like 2 weeks into it, she should be like, all right, yeah, bye guys. Like,
no, but if you're making millions a month.
But I'm just saying, take a little hiatus, because it's like, you know, like when you come out, bro. Sometimes when you drop something on OnlyFans, people are just sleeping on the drops. Like I've been noticing lately, like drops on OnlyFans are going crazy.
Yeah, I was even saying if she wanted to, and like to avoid all legal issues, if she just got like a next big nigga, like a big built nigga, blurred his face out, put a sex tape with him, and claim it's Zion, but be like it's not Zion, but it's claiming it's Zion.
When there
could be no legal ramifications against that.
When the sex tape dropped and they were saying that was Rick Ross's baby moms, I was definitely wondering. I was like, did they just go get some like good chick?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like there's so much ways she can monetize the fuck out of it.
But you kind of get defamation and stuff out of that. No, but who cares?
Like if she says I'm gonna drop the sex tape on Zion, like she already did, but then drop a sex tape with somebody else. on a different, like, just saying, like, without saying it's Zion, and just blur the face. Like, nobody would know. And it's like Zion would know that's not him.
Yeah. I mean,
She would know it's not him.
It'd be smart for her to do that. I just got to say, man, on record, I cannot blame Zion for what he's doing, man. He's just a horny little kid, man.
Yeah.
He's just horny as shit.
Big up Zion. Bro, all these South Carolina boys are going down.
But I will say this, man. I do wish that he put a little bit more energy into his craft. Because it's like, bro, if this is the way you like to live, you better make a lot of money playing basketball, because it sounds like
But he's not even playing basketball,
it sounds like
bro.
he's blowing a bag on these hoes, and it's like, bro, I don't know if you're even gonna make that second contract. Like, he probably will just because he was a #1 draft pick, but he's not getting no max or nothing.
Well, like,
that.
how much do you think these girls are demanding? Like, from
Bro,
him?
he's sending them like 300,000 at a time.
No, there's no 300,000. You're wild.
Bro, go look at some of the texts.
300,000.
Some of the texts are crazy.
There's
He's
no
bro,
way
Okay,
300,000.
sorry. Okay, so he's saying like, I'm gonna send you 30,000.
30,000,
And he's
yeah.
like, but how much do you want per month? And it's like, bro, so what? He's gonna send her 30,000 every month. So in a year, he gave her 300,000. Quick math.
Okay, but that's in a year. You were saying at a time. That's different.
Okay.
I would say
Bro,
like
at a year is a time.
I was
in
gonna
my
say there's
opinion.
no way he spent over $1 million on any of these girls. That's what I was about to say, and you were saying 300,000 at a time. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, well, 300,000 in a year type shit, and that's not to include all the gifts and
But it's like,
everything
think about how
else
much
that he's spending on
nose
her.
he
It's like-
has. Like, obviously, it's stupid. It's so
I'm
stupid.
not,
I'm not saying it's
I'm not
right.
saying
Yeah.
he's. I'm just saying in the long run, if this is how you want to live, just go hoop, because he's good, bro, and he could easily go hoop. And it's just like, yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, let your nuts hang. If this is how you want to live, live like that, bro. Live like that and just go hoop, and no one can tell you
Well-
nothing.
well,
You
that's
see
what-
Paul Pierce the other day?
No way.
Bro, Paul Pierce and KG were doing some talk show, and Paul Pierce had like some escort with him, and he was like, oh, like, KG, like, shake her hand, KG, like, this is my, you gotta pay for a wife for a day, so this is my wife for the day. And he started exposing himself, and KG was like, what the fuck? Like, look how Paul Pierce is living these days, but he's a Hall of Famer, so who could really tell him anything?
Yeah.
And it's just like, yo, if this is how you wanna live your life, Zion, do whatever the fuck
But that
you
is how
want.
Zion's living. It's just this girl's
It
getting
is,
mad.
but, bro,
It's
if Zion's out the league in 4 years, it's not gonna work, bro. It's not gonna
Oh,
work.
you're saying he needs the bag first, and then
Not
Well, he
first,
got
not
that-
first, not first.
got
Just
his
get the
big-ass
bag.
shoe deal
Just do
too,
whatever.
though.
Just do whatever you want to do. Just make sure you keep hooping, bro. Michael Jordan is a degenerate gambler. It doesn't matter because he's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? LeBron James, okay, flawless record, but there's a lot of guys who had like certain things going on. They might have been alcoholics or whatever, but it doesn't matter as long as you're hooping. Like, as long as you're hooping, none of that matters.
Apparently, Michael Jordan is selling the Hornets because he's going bankrupt.
Not that he's going bankrupt. He has a huge debt to pay. So he'll still walk away with a lot of money, bro. You sell the team for $3 billion. You got a lot of money in your
I think
pocket.
he's just selling the
But
team
he
to sell
has-
the team. I don't think he's
No,
actually,
you could go and look. He tried to short GameStop. He's a part of that bet. He's a part of that bet, and he lost out. He's a degenerate gambler, bro. He's just gambling on stocks and shit now.
Yo,
Crazy.
talking about millionaires, you see all these millionaires that are stuck in a fucking submarine going to the Titanic?
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
Bro.
On a $30 controller.
Yo, time out. If you had an op that was a millionaire, is this not the greatest way to get them killed?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
great way.
Yeah.
You say, hey guys,
Let's
I
all
got,
go on
I
a
got
trip.
a great vacation plan for you. It's a submarine, only exclusive people can do it.
It's like a
and we're
murder
gonna go
mystery.
down into all the way to the Titanic. We get to drive around the boat,
Mm-hmm.
see what's like inside. Yeah, and it's not even that much. It's like probably like $300,000 to do. They'd be like, oh yeah, that's sick.
That's crazy.
You're
Thing
like,
is that they didn't
"Oh,
go on this for free. They,
so-
they paid a lot
but
of
then,
money. to
but
go
then
on
you
this.
invite 6 people. You'd be the one person that, oh, this can only sit fit 5. My bad. I'll sit this one out. They go down. You get that $130, the Xbox controller they have plugged in. Unplug that shit, and now they're missing, dead. 5 millionaires dead. Like, bro, are you taking that? Like,
I don't think that's it. But
that is
Something
the
just like
controller.
that. Yeah,
It's a $30
something just like
controller
that,
that that apparently operates the submarine.
Yeah, that's wild. Especially, bro, if I'm spending $250,000 on per ride, that's unacceptable. That's
And
unacceptable.
now apparently they have like, well,
Yeah, the CEO's gonna go to jail.
yeah, they have until Thursday before the air runs out in the sub, so they're been searched.
That has to
I
be
think they're gonna get found
manslaughter.
though.
But I think so too.
I think they're gonna get
But that's
found.
got to be manslaughter if they die. No.
Negligence, maybe. I don't think it's man. It would be negligence of some sort. But
Okay, well, extreme negligence. You still go to jail for that, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I believe this company's been doing this. It's not like a one-off. It's not like the first time
No,
they're
this
doing
has
this.
been doing it for a while. They fired one of their old employees who was saying this shit's not safe.
Did they?
Yeah, they fired him,
That's funny.
and he has like a lot of experience in this type of field.
Yeah, so they have until like Thursday to get them. But like, I don't know what everybody's fascination with the fucking Titanic is.
Nah, me neither.
It's the movie.
I heard
The
that shit.
movie's
I heard that
whack.
shit was an insurance scam.
Oh, because of like, yeah, bro. Have you ever like? Did you ever take in the movie though?
Yeah, of course.
No, but like, did you take it in? Take it in.
What the fuck are you saying, bro? Don't say the same thing twice. I just said yeah.
Okay, so like, take it. This is the essentially the story of the movie is some homeless guy makes his way onto this like this once in a lifetime ship, right?
Yeah.
This girl he sees on the ship who's married to a millionaire, who the millionaire
not married yet.
or engaged. Sorry, yeah, engaged to this millionaire. That's like taking him on this this one again once in a lifetime trip. Sees a bum, is like, yo, that bum's
Stop
pretty
it, bro.
attractive.
That's
He's a
relatable.
bum.
That's relatable. You never took a nigga, bitch.
Bro, no millionaires losing their bitch to a fucking
No,
bum.
it happens all the time.
Oh
You're
my.
crazy. You're crazy. Especially when people are young. They were pretty young. He would just have family money. Well, he was a little older. That's the thing too. She was young. He was young. They kind of got along, bro. She was like real young in the movie, and like some older millionaire guy was trying to like put her into some life that she didn't want. That's what the whole thing was about.
Well, essentially,
bro, that type of shit happens all the time, bro.
But essentially, so it's like they go on
these
this
days
like,
not as much because these bitches are so materialistic. But she wasn't that materialistic,
she's
so she didn't
clearly
care.
materialistic.
No, she liked that gem. She loved. She
Let
wasn't
me
letting
continue.
that go.
Let me continue. So then this guy, like the bum, Leonardo DiCaprio, rizzes up this shorty, takes her on like arguably like the greatest date ever on a boat. It was because the whole movie's just one big date. So he takes her on this date. In the date, he draws her posing naked for him.
You about to say her nipples?
No, he draws her. He draws her posing naked for him. This bitch decides to take that picture and lock it in her man's safe.
Yeah, that was
so
crazy.
her man will find it one day and be like, "Yo, who drew this? Oh, this bum I saw on the boat." It's like, it's like in modern day translation, that would be like, imagine your girl sent you sent somebody else a nude, but then emailed it to you. So it's like you're not seeing it today. You might see it tomorrow, but you're definitely going to see it eventually.
Who did you take these for? Yeah.
So it's like, she's already trifling, and then they go.
But she's young and stupid.
No, so then she's like, I don't want my husband anymore. This guy's way more cool.
It brings it back around to the first "Would you rather" and see when he chose the good looks. When you're good looking, dude, and you're a bum, you got to do shit like this to compensate.
No, Leo's not in the wrong. Leo's risen the shorty. The shorty's just trifling is all I'm saying. It's because even then, like, she's like, I don't want to be with this husband. I can get on this lifeboat with this guy, but I'd rather be with this homeless dude because, like, he showed me the time of my life.
Yeah.
But then she wouldn't even let him on the fucking raft when they're floating in the water.
Bro, there was a little piece of wood. If they both went on it, they both would have died.
Nah, they both would have fit. They both would have survived. But she's like, nah, fuck this nigga.
At the end of the day, that's what they were trying to get across. Even if you looked at that little piece of wood, like, oh, like they both could have fit. It like in reality, they couldn't have.
Bro, that's not even the end of it though. So the whole movie, you know how it's like kind of like the whole movie's supposed to be like her narrating when she's like 80 about like the best time of her life. Yeah. So when she transfers to when she's 80, she has like kids and stuff. Her kids are like 30 and stuff. So she lived her whole life and she's thinking about a 1 week affair that she had. The whole movie's about a 1 week affair.
That's how bitches are.
Yeah, but then not even just that. So she sat all these explorers down, told her this long ass story, this 3-hour story. And these guys are all exploring, looking for what was it, like the gem of the ocean or whatever. And this trifling bitch had the gem the whole time and just dashes in the water. Not even saying thank you to these people for bringing her out, reminding her of the memories. Yeah. Dashes into the ocean. They're like, nigga, we were just looking for this shit.
It was clearly a story about white privilege.
No, it's a story about trifling hoes, bro. This girl, there's a whole story. The whole movie is about her cheating on her man. And then her remembering how great it was.
Bro, you know, there's a lot of movies like this that are about like a trifling hoe.
Bro, it's about
like Pretty Woman is about a trifling asshole. Like, there's a lot of movies like hold on, wait.
They made them the victim. How can you make the girl cheating on her husband a victim?
What's that Quentin Tarantino movie, True Romance? Yeah, that's about a trifling hoe. Kill Bill is about a trifling hoe, bro. And Kill Bill, she takes the man's baby. And no, she's pregnant with the man and says, you know what? I don't like the way we've been living. She sneaks off to go marry some other dude and doesn't tell him nothing. Takes his baby and just tries to fuck up his whole program. What?
Yeah. No, it's great. Like this whole, I don't know, the Titanic cheesed me because I remember I watched this shit when I was like 14. I was like, yo, this doesn't make sense. Why are we supposed to feel bad for the girl that just left her husband for a homeless dude?
Man, you're supposed to enjoy, bro. When she stands on her toes, that shit was not wavy. I'm just saying that shit was not wavy. She thought she was killing it. That shit was not wavy.
Bro, that's just, I don't know. That's society of a woman in a nutshell, in my opinion. It's like, fuck, bro. But they get everything they want. If they don't ever get what they want, somehow it's the guy's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck them hoes. But let's talk about Wemby, man. Pull up this shit about Wemby, man.
When he was walking on the subway?
Yeah, well, yes, yeah, he was doing that too. The NYC subway, bro. He's so tall. Oh my gosh! If you pull up the clips, you'll see it. Like, especially there's this one part where he's talking and he's like under the NYC speaker, and it looks like there's all kind of black mold and shit on it.
Yeah, his head just he's like he has to like bend over to stand straight.
Everywhere he's going, and like his head looks like a sponge for that type of shit. Like, bro, I hope he used Head and Shoulders.
Nah, bro, his hair is nasty.
Look! You see the speaker right there?
Yeah, his head's probably so nasty all the time.
Bro, do you
because
think
of
they ever wipe down
Never.
the roof
They've never, right?
of the
No.
NYC subway?
No,
That's
they don't have
40
75
years
mans on there.
of germs, pre-COVID germs. Like,
Bro, you
my
saw the
gosh.
shoe that Drake gave him? That shit's huge.
Yeah, I was the new ones look a lot more fire than the first ones.
Drake shoes?
Yeah,
I don't
like
like
the
them
new
at
ones
all.
better. They remind me kind of Penny Hardaway's.
I think only his Jordans
Are they a
fire.
remix of Penny Hardaway's?
They look exactly like them.
Yeah, they must just be a remix of Penny Hardaway's. I like these ones more.
Yeah, but the one he gives Wimby, like this shit was so fucking big.
They're just a remix of Pennies for sure, but they're nice. And yeah, the ones that he gave Wemby were crazy. That kid's a freak, bro. The way he's built, he's like 7'5" and
Bro,
he's skinny as
his
fuck.
parents definitely had him on HGH from when he was like 10 years old.
100%, 100%.
Like 8 years old.
These days, if you want your kid to go to the NBA, you have to do that shit for them. Because look at LaMelo Ball. He's like 6'8", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", depending on what day it is
Yeah.
and how his body's looking. And it's like, bro, like he plays point guard in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like Shy, same thing.
No,
all these
not
point
even
guards
talking,
are
I'm
tall
not even
as
talking
fuck.
about like the talent size. I'm just saying his build in general. Like, bro, he's 7'5". Like that's
Oh, for him, yeah, 100%. It's like Greg Oden. It's like seeing Greg Oden.
doesn't
all
make
over
sense.
again. Yeah, physically, it's like what? He's just nice though, bro. I'm telling you, I used to have doubts about him. When I watch him play, it's like, bro, he hoops just like how a guard hoops.
I think he's
but
gonna be
he's in a big body. It's
yeah, but
crazy.
I think he's gonna be a victim of the hype, though. I think he's gonna be like one of those guys. Like he's gonna have a career. It's
tough to live up to this type of
Obviously,
hype.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I'm saying obviously he can be injured. I'm saying if he doesn't get injured, he's gonna have a career where he's averaging like 22, 8, and 7, and it's like people are gonna be like, that's great numbers. But we expected LeBron numbers. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
Or
his
even
expectations
if
are
he
too high.
averages 19, 12, and 8. Same shit. Those would be great numbers. And people would say, like, we expected more from him just because he's not averaging 20. Which, I'm going to be honest, if you go look at his numbers of what he was doing in the France league,
He's not averaging 20.
Yeah, he's not a
He's not
high
averaging
volume
20.
guy. It's
Bro,
just, he's efficient. He's
There
very
was
efficient.
There was a
He never
boosted
shoots
bet.
bad.
There was
He
a
never shoots
boosted
bad.
bet on Bet365 that he gets 20 points, 10 rebounds, and they win. I'm like, yo, I've never seen this guy play, but he's the number one prospect. I'm gonna take this bet because it's like he's the number one prospect.
Yeah.
Bro, that same game you won like 10-4.
Yeah.
Like 10-4 and 2. I was like, yo, this nigga is ass.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, how this nigga lost me like $50.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yo, bro, this guy's ass.
He's not a rebounder. He's just a shot blocker and a scorer. He
Yeah.
scores very efficiently, but that's the thing. He's not a volume scorer. He's not going to put up 40. If he puts up 25 on 12 shots, that's really what you want.
But it's crazy too because his generation that he's going to be coming up in is extremely competitive already, right? So like you have the Luka, you have the Jaws, you have like all these men that are like even like Shea Gilgeous, like
Yeah.
those guys are all going to be around for his whole career.
Yeah.
And it's like those are the ones he's going to be competing with, and I don't think he's that much better than them.
And
I
the
don't
thing
think
is-
he can be
yeah,
that much better than
and
them.
I think he'll be a victim to his own hype. But see, like during the draft process, where I led the Rockets, I wanted him to get drafted to the Rockets, and he was like, as soon as the Rockets went number 3, he was like cheering. He was like, yes.
Yeah.
And so you could tell he doesn't want to share the spotlight, but it's like I don't think he's a franchise player like that.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
he would
think so
be
either.
great. All those guys you just named, if you put them on a team with them, they're winning the championship.
I also think like
He's a great
the way the
complementary
NBA
player.
is going now, it's kind of bad that all these franchise players are non-American because it's like the problem that happened to the MLB in my opinion. It's like once you have non-English speaking faces of franchises, it kind of destroys the sport. It's like people are less likely to cheer for them because it's like, yo, you don't even speak my language. Like,
I disagree, and plus they're bringing their whole country with them.
No,
Like,
they
look
bring
at-
it-
look
like,
at
they bring
Shohei
outside
right now.
fans.
Like he's bringing his
Shohei? Yeah, but it's like-
he's bringing all of Japan with him. Like what?
but I feel like a lot of like maybe you're gonna just say it's because of racism, but it's like a lot that watch baseball want like an English speaking guy and everybody's fucking Dominican speaking like Spanish and shit. It's like they don't have no English speaking baseball players anymore.
Well, Mike Trout or
yeah, but that's
Mike
why
Trout.
everybody loves Mike Trout because he's like a one of a one. Like
I hear
know
what you're
mean?
saying. I hear
It's
what
like the
you're
same way in the NBA now. Everybody loves the white. Like all white people will ride for the number one white person. Like
The thing with that though is that like, bro, we just gotta start analyzing not only our school systems because we talk about that all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but also with the athletics and stuff. Like when it comes to basketball and stuff, the Europeans are passing us and stuff. When it comes
well,
to
that's just based off of pure numbers, I think.
Nah, it's also like the training styles. I think like sometimes in America and North America in general, we get too caught up with like just the flashiness of it all. Like, and we try to make our kids play like we want to see them play pro style. A lot of times in every sport, you see it. People hype up the kids who play pro style, and it's like, man, fundamentals in any sport is really, really key, and that's the most important thing. Like even right now, in European soccer, I'm starting to notice it where I'm like, well, soccer's a whole different sport. Soccer, like they need that flash, you know, but. Just in general, I'm just saying like you want the fundamentals. Like when it comes to boxing, when it comes to football, when it comes to basketball. Like if these kids were more fundamentally sound, that's like look at what Luka and Jokic are doing in the NBA. It's all fundamentals.
But what I'm trying to say is like I get that argument, but I feel like it's purely numbers in the sense that more people are starting to play basketball now. So I like the America only has like 300 million people. Canada has like 30 million people. It's like
If it was based on that, China would have the top players in the NBA.
But
right?
China has like competitive league. I'm not saying those people are better than the NBA players, but it's like it's going to be a lot harder for a Chinese player to break into the NBA because nobody knows Chinese, right? But then you have the Jokic's and the Lucas who are learning English, so they're trying to speak English.
China, knew a little bit of English and shit, and like,
bro,
and like the guys that they're training
now
and shit, like, yeah, trust me, if that was a hindrance, the Chinese people would make sure that they knew English to come over here and go to the NBA. That's not the reason. It's the talent level's not there.
I don't think.
You know, Yao Ming. They put both his parents together. They're both Olympic champion athletes. They put them together. The communist government put them together and
Didn't
said,
they say that
your
about
son will be a
fucking
great
Nike building
basketball player,
LeBron?
and gave him HGH.
I swear they said the same thing about Nike built LeBron.
Like, with LeBron and Steph being born in the same hospital, that's super suspicious. Like they say it's part of all of it's part of the experiment. Hey man, you never know, bro, with a lot of these pro athletes. But at the end of the day, if you start someone on a track from when they're young, they got a good chance anyways. Like look at Mayweather. He's been boxing since he was like 6 years old. There's a reason why he's the GOAT, you know?
Yeah. All right, we got to wrap this episode up. You have anything else you want to get off before we close it?
Nah, I mean, I think we're good.
Jeez. All right. Well, thanks for listening this far. If you have, if you honestly, if you made it this far, you might as well and share the video to at least one other friend.
Follow, subscribe, all that.
We're gonna be leveling up the pod soon. We're doing upgrades on our side, but we do need the fans to help spread the word. If you like the episode, share with a friend. It would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been another episode of Northern Ruckus.
Yeah, keep checking in. You guys
Peace.
let me know.